Respect must be earned. Respect isn't a gift handed to you. It's a reward you earn through integrity, discipline, and self-respect. No matter how hard you try, people won't value you if toxic habits define your life. Drawing from Stoic philosophy, here are 6 habits you must eliminate to command the respect you deserve. First, stop making excuses. People don't care about your reasons. Traffic, a late coworker, or bad luck. They respect results. I learned this the hard way, blaming external factors for my tardiness until I realized excuses painted me as unreliable. When you own your mistakes instead of deflecting, trust grows and respect follows. Second, ditch laziness. Potential means nothing without action. I once coasted on talent, doing the bare minimum, but no one took me seriously. Respect comes from effort, showing up, pushing through, and proving your worth. Laziness screams wasted potential, and no one admires that. Third, care about your appearance. It's not shallow. It's a reflection of self-respect. I used to think wrinkled clothes didn't matter, but they signaled I didn't care. When I started presenting myself with intention, people noticed. A polished exterior shows you value yourself, and others mirror that respect. Fourth, honor boundaries. Ignoring someone's need for space isn't caring. It's selfish. I lost a friend's trust by overstepping, thinking I was helping. Respecting limits shows you value others' autonomy, building stronger, more respectful connections. Fifth, never take credit for others' work. I once hogged the spotlight on a team project, only to lose admiration when the truth surfaced. Integrity matters more than shortcuts. Giving credit where it's due proves you're secure and fair, qualities that earn lasting respect. Finally, control your emotions. Reacting impulsively, yelling, sulking, or shutting down makes you look weak, not passionate. I nearly ruined a friendship in a heated moment, but stepping back saved it. Calmness under pressure shows strength, and people respect that composure. Respect starts within. You can't demand it from others if you don't demand more from yourself. These habits, excuses, laziness, neglect, boundary violations, dishonesty, and emotional outbursts erode your worth. Eliminate them, and you'll live with the discipline and dignity Stoics champion. I've seen it firsthand. When I stopped undermining myself, the world shifted. Respect isn't about perfection. It's about consistency and accountability. Earn it by being someone worth respecting. Starting today. Habit 1. Always making excuses. Respect isn't something you can demand. It's something you earn through integrity, discipline, and accountability. Among the habits that silently erode your worth, always making excuses stands out as the fastest way to lose respect. People don't care about your justifications. They value results. If you want to be taken seriously, this is the first habit you must eliminate. I've been there, trapped in a cycle of excuses. I'd show up late, blaming traffic or some unexpected event, convinced my reasons were valid. It's not my fault, I'd tell myself, thinking a good explanation would absolve me. But the truth hit hard. No one cared. Friends stopped relying on me. My boss handed important tasks to others, and even my family subtly distanced themselves. I couldn't see it then, but my excuses didn't make me look responsible. They made me seem weak and unreliable. People respect those who deliver, not those who deflect. Excuses are more than words. They're a mindset. Every time you point the finger at circumstances, traffic, a coworker's delay, or just life happening, you're casting yourself as a victim. I remember a moment that stung. After another late arrival with my usual traffic story, someone asked, "Why didn't you leave earlier?" They were right. The problem wasn't the world, it was me. I was letting myself off the hook, expecting others to accept it. But here's the harsh reality. The world owes you nothing. Respect hinges on accountability, not clever rationalizations. When I finally stopped making excuses, everything changed. I started owning my failures. No more traffic tales or sob stories. If I messed up, I admitted it. That was on me. I'll do better. People noticed. They forgave honest mistakes far more than flimsy justifications. Trust returned, and with it, respect. It wasn't about being perfect. It was about taking control. Excuses signal you're not in charge of your life. How can anyone respect that? Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control. You can't stop traffic, but you can leave earlier. You can't force others to act, but you can prepare for their delays. The moment you ditch the victim mentality, you reclaim power. I saw this shift in how people treated me. Friends relied on me again. Colleagues saw me as dependable. Respect didn't come overnight, but it grew as I proved I could be counted on. If you catch yourself crafting an excuse, pause. Take a breath. Own the situation. It's tough to break this habit, but the payoff is immense. Stop lying to yourself about who's responsible, and others will stop doubting your worth. Respect is built on reliability and self-awareness. Excuses destroy both. Drop them, and you'll be amazed at how much respect you can command, not just from others, but from yourself. Habit 2, being lazy. Respect isn't handed out freely. It's earned through effort, discipline, and a commitment to growth. One of the surest ways to lose it is by being lazy. Laziness isn't just a lack of energy. It's a refusal to act on your potential, and people don't respect wasted promise. They admire action. If you want to be taken seriously, this is a habit you must eradicate. I used to think I could coast by on talent. I was the type who could scrape by with minimal effort, relying on natural ability to get decent results. I tell myself I was smart for saving energy, but deep down, no one respected me for it. Sure, people might have said, he's capable, but their actions told a different story. They didn't trust me with responsibility. I learned this the hard way during a group project. Everyone else poured in effort, while I contributed just enough to get by. When we presented, my lack of work was glaring. The disappointment in their eyes hit me hard. I hadn't just let them down, I diminished myself. Laziness didn't make me clever, it made me irrelevant. Laziness is a visible flaw. You might think you're hiding it, but people notice when you cut corners or avoid hard work. It's not just about you, it drags others down too. I saw in how my teammates stopped expecting much from me. Respect dies when people no longer see you as valuable. The deeper truth is that laziness is self-sabotage. Every time you choose comfort over effort, you're telling yourself growth doesn't matter. But trust me, people respect those who push through discomfort, not those who stagnate. Breaking this habit transformed how I was perceived. I started showing up fully, tackling tough tasks, putting in the hours, and proving I wasn't just capable, but committed. I remember a moment after that shift. A colleague thanked me for stepping up on a deadline. That small nod of respect felt earned, not given. Success isn't about talent alone. It's about persistence and dedication. The Stoics understood this. True strength lies in consistent action, not resting on laurels. If you're lazy, don't expect trust or admiration. People won't hand you opportunities if you won't pull your weight. I used to think taking the easy road was efficient, but it only shrank my worth. When I embraced effort, everything changed. People relied on me, looked to me, respected me. Laziness shows in how you carry yourself, how you approach challenges. You can't hide it, and you shouldn't excuse it. Shed this habit by starting small. Do one hard thing today, then another. Respect grows from action, not intention. Stop settling for good enough, and you'll see how much more you and others value you. Laziness keeps you small. Effort makes you worthy. Habit 3, neglecting personal appearance. Respect isn't something you can claim. It's something you earn through self-discipline, integrity, and how you present yourself to the world. One habit that quietly undermines your worth is neglecting your personal appearance. It's not about vanity, it's about self-respect. If you don't care enough to show up as your best self, why should anyone else respect you? I used to shrug off appearances, thinking they didn't matter. I'd roll out of bed, throw on whatever was clean, sometimes wrinkled, and head out convinced people should value me for who I was, not how I looked. I called it authenticity, but it was laziness. Then came a wake-up call. I walked into an important event looking disheveled. Messy hair, sloppy clothes, radiating I don't care. The room's energy shifted when I entered. People didn't take me seriously. I could feel it. Meanwhile, those who'd put effort into their appearance commanded attention effortlessly. That day, I realized my neglect wasn't just about me. It shaped how others saw my worth. Your appearance is a silent message. It tells the world how much you value yourself. I'd argue it's not superficial. It's a form of nonverbal communication. Showing up unkempt says you're indifferent, not just to yourself, but to those around you. I noticed this in meetings. When I looked sloppy, my ideas got less traction. But when I started dressing with intention, clean, neat, purposeful, people listened. It wasn't about expensive clothes or perfection. It was about effort. That effort signals you take yourself seriously, and others follow suit. Neglecting your appearance has a ripple effect. I once thought they'll get over it, but they didn't. People assume if you can't bother with yourself, you won't care about your work or relationships either. It's harsh but true. First impressions stick, and they're heavily tied to how you present yourself. After that event, I decided to change. I started paying attention, grooming, ironing a shirt, standing taller. The difference was instant. Colleagues engaged more. Strangers treated me with subtle respect. I felt it too, a boost in confidence that came from respecting myself first. The Stoics would say discipline starts within, and appearance is part of that. It's not about pleasing others. It's about honoring your own dignity. I learned that looking put together isn't just external. It shifts your mindset. You carry yourself differently. Think more clearly. Act with purpose. People notice that strength. Conversely, neglect screams apathy, and apathy kills respect. If you've been letting this slide, start small. Fix your hair, wear something clean, stand straight. It's not about beauty standards. It's about showing you're in control. Respect begins with how you see yourself. When you stop neglecting your appearance, you stop telling the world you're unworthy. Put in the effort and watch how respect from yourself and others grows. It's a simple change with profound impact. Habit 4, ignoring boundaries. Respect isn't something you can force. It's earned through integrity, self-awareness, and honoring others. One habit that swiftly destroys it is ignoring boundaries. When you dismiss someone's limits, you signal their feelings, space, and comfort don't matter. If you want respect, this is a behavior you must stop. I learned this lesson painfully. I used to think being overly involved showed I cared. Calling friends daily, offering unsolicited advice, inserting myself into their problems. I saw it as support. They saw it as suffocation. A close friend once pulled away, and I couldn't understand why. I'd text constantly, push for updates, thinking I was helping. Then she said, "I need space. You don't get it." It hit me hard. I trampled her boundaries, and in doing so, lost her trust and respect. Ignoring limits doesn't build closeness, it breaks it. Boundaries aren't walls. They're healthy lines people draw to protect their well-being. When you cross them, you're not just being pushy, you're showing disrespect for their autonomy. I used to take it personally when someone set a limit, but that was my mistake. Respecting boundaries means recognizing others have their own needs, not bending them to yours. Once I stepped back, giving people room to breathe, relationships deepened. They trusted me more because I showed I value their space. This applies beyond personal ties. At work, I'd pester a coworker for updates when they preferred independence, or flood a boss with details they didn't need. It wasn't helpful, it was intrusive. People don't respect those who overstep, they resent them. I saw it in their guarded responses, their reluctance to engage. Ignoring boundaries doesn't make you indispensable, it makes you a burden. The Stoics taught that true strength lies in controlling what you can, your actions, and letting go of what you can't, like others' choices. Boundaries are a gift. They clarify where you end and others begin. Honoring them shows maturity and care. When I stopped pushing, something shifted. That friend came back, not because I forced it, but because I respected her terms. Colleagues collaborated more when I quit hovering. Respect grew naturally from restraint. Ignoring boundaries chips away at trust. People avoid you when they feel unsafe, and without trust, respect vanishes. I used to think persistence proved my worth, but it only proved my ignorance. Now, I listen for cues, subtle or direct, and back off when needed. It's not rejection. It's a chance to show I'm secure enough to let others be themselves. If you're guilty of this, start paying attention. Notice when someone pulls back or sets a limit. Don't argue. Respect it. It's tough to unlearn, but the reward is profound. Stronger bonds, mutual trust, and genuine respect. Boundaries aren't about distance. They're about balance. Honor them, and you'll become someone others feel safe around, someone they admire, not for what you demand, but for what you give: space, understanding, and respect. That's the foundation of lasting value. Habit 5. Taking credit for others' work. Respect isn't something you can seize. It's earned through honesty, integrity, and fairness. One of the quickest ways to lose it is by taking credit for others' work. This dishonest habit doesn't just harm those you steal from, it sabotages your reputation. If you want genuine respect, this is a behavior you must eliminate. I've been on the wrong side of this. Early in my career, I craved recognition. During a team project, a colleague outshone us all, but when presenting, I subtly framed it as my effort. I didn't lie outright, just bent the truth enough to bask in the praise. It felt good until the reality unraveled. My teammate noticed, then others did too. The admiration I'd snatched turned to skepticism. I traded short-term glory for long-term distrust. That moment taught me, respect built on shortcuts crumbles fast. Taking credit isn't just unethical, it's a mirror of insecurity. When you claim someone else's work, you're admitting you don't trust your own abilities. I thought I was winning, but I was undermining myself. People aren't blind, they see through it. Once, I watched a talented coworker lose opportunities because he'd earned a reputation for hogging credit. The label stuck and trust evaporated. Respect isn't about appearances, it's about authenticity, and stealing credit is the opposite. The damage goes deeper. When you take someone's effort, you rob them of their pride and recognition. I didn't realize how demoralizing that was until I saw my colleagues' quiet disappointment. It breeds resentment, burning bridges you can't rebuild. People stop collaborating, sharing, or trusting you. I felt it. After my stunt, teammates grew distant, hesitant to include me. Why would they risk their work being hijacked? Respect thrives on collaboration, not betrayal. The Stoics valued integrity above all. Success without honor is hollow. I learned that the hard way. True respect comes from lifting others up, not climbing over them. When I shifted, owning my contributions while celebrating others, the dynamic changed. I'd call out a teammate's brilliance in a meeting, and instead of diminishing me, it amplified my credibility. People respected my confidence, my fairness. Sharing credit doesn't shrink your worth, it grows it. If you've done this, fix it. I did, apologizing to that colleague, giving them the spotlight they deserved. It wasn't easy, but it rebuilt trust. Moving forward, I made it a rule: credit where it's due. People notice integrity more than bravado. Colleagues started relying on me, knowing I wouldn't steal their thunder. Respect followed, not for what I took, but what I gave. Stop this habit by owning your role and honoring others. It's not weakness, it's strength. Taking credit reflects fear. Sharing it shows security. The respect you chase through dishonesty fades fast, but the kind you earn through fairness lasts. Be someone others trust, not someone they tolerate. That's the path to real value. Earned, not snatched. Habit 6. Being emotionally reactive. Respect isn't something you can demand. It's earned through self-control, integrity, and composure. One habit that swiftly dismantles it is being emotionally reactive. Letting your feelings dictate your actions, whether through anger, defensiveness, or sulking, signals weakness, not strength. If you want respect, this is a behavior you must master and eliminate. I've lived this struggle. There was a time when my emotions ran the show. If someone criticized me, I'd snap back, voice raised, or storm off. If I felt slighted, I'd brood for hours. I thought I was asserting myself, but I was just exposing my lack of control. Looking back, it's embarrassing. I wasn't commanding respect. I was losing it. People don't admire someone who unravels at the slightest trigger. They trust those who stay steady. Emotional reactivity isn't passion, it's insecurity. I'd lash out to shield my ego, fearing vulnerability. But here's the truth. No one respects fragility dressed as overreaction. I once worked with someone who'd explode or shut down in meetings over disagreements. We tiptoed around her, not out of respect, but exhaustion. She was talented, but her instability overshadowed it. People stopped involving her, and I saw my own past in that. Reactivity makes you a liability, not a leader. A personal moment crystallized this for me. During a heated argument with a friend, I nearly let my temper ruin everything. Words were escalating, and I was seconds from blowing up. But something clicked. I took a breath, stepped back, and listened. That pause saved the friendship. If I'd reacted, I'd have lost someone dear. Calmness didn't weaken me, it strengthened me. People respect those who hold it together when others fall apart. The Stoics nailed this. You can't control events, but you can control your response. Emotional reactivity hands power to the situation. Composure keeps it with you. When I stopped erupting, I started thinking clearly, making better choices, avoiding regret. I recall a tense work discussion where I stayed cool despite provocation. Afterward, a colleague said, "I respect how you handled that. It wasn't my silence, it was my strength." Reactivity burns bridges, restraint builds them. This habit's damage is subtle but real. People pity the yeller, the crier, the one who storms out, not respect them. I've felt those awkward glances after losing it, and it's humbling. They don't see passion, they see immaturity. But when you stay grounded, you project reliability. Others lean on you, trust you, because you're not a loose cannon. Breaking this takes practice. Next time you feel the surge, anger, hurt, frustration, pause. Breathe. Choose your response. It's hard, but the shift is profound. I went from being the hothead to the one people turn to in chaos. Respect grows from self-mastery, not outbursts. Stop letting emotions steer you, and you'll become someone others admire. Not for what you feel, but for what you control. That's the root of true respect. Core message: respect begins within. Respect isn't a right. It's a privilege earned through self-discipline, integrity, and accountability. The Stoic philosophy woven into this narrative reveals a profound truth. You'll never command respect from others until you respect yourself enough to shed toxic habits. These 6 behaviors, making excuses, laziness, neglecting appearance, ignoring boundaries, taking credit, and emotional reactivity, silently erode your worth. Eliminating them isn't just about impressing others. It's about reclaiming your dignity. I walked this path. I used to think excuses justified my failures, but they only made me unreliable. Laziness let my potential rot, earning me indifference, not admiration. Showing up disheveled screamed, I didn't care, and pushing past people's boundaries cost me trust. Taking credit for others' work briefly fed my ego, but it torched my reputation. Emotional outbursts didn't prove my passion, they exposed my weakness. Each habit held a mirror to my flaws, and the reflection was humbling. Respect starts with how you treat yourself. The shift came when I stopped blaming the world and started owning my actions. Ditching excuses built reliability. Effort replaced laziness with purpose. Caring for my appearance boosted my confidence, while honoring boundaries deepened my relationships. Giving credit where due showed my strength, and mastering my emotions earned me trust. Respect didn't flood in overnight. It grew as I proved I valued myself. People noticed the change, not because I demanded it, but because I embodied it. Stoicism teaches that we control our responses, not our circumstances. These habits aren't just flaws, they're choices. Every time you dodge accountability or choose comfort over growth, you diminish yourself. But when you rise above, taking responsibility, pushing forward, respecting others, you build a foundation of self-respect. That's the secret. Others mirror how you see yourself. If you don't demand more from within, no one else will. Think of those you admire. They're not perfect, but they're consistent, composed under pressure, honest in their dealings, deliberate in their actions. That's the standard. Talent or charm won't cut it if you're undermined by these habits. Respect is a reflection of character, forged through discipline and self-awareness. I've seen it. When I stopped sabotaging myself, the world shifted. You can't force respect. You earn it by living with purpose. Start today. Strip away what holds you back and watch how you and those around you begin to stand taller. Respect begins within, and only then does it radiate outward.